Institute is a national treasure because I was able to prove unequivocally that there are no genetically transmitted birth defects and there are no genetically transmitted diseases. There are some diseases, for instance, like sickle cell anemia, which, the doctors say is genetic in the Black population. Is not true. It's actually due to a simple deficiency of a single nutrient during early stages of the formation of the bone marrow in the embryo. And it happens in white folks as well as Black folks. And so they gave it a different name in white folks. It's the same birth defect. It's just they couldn't have the Black gene in a white guy. So they gave it a different name. There's sickle cell anemia in Black people and it's thalassemia in white people, but it's the same birth defect caused by the same deficiency. It's the same stage of pregnancy when the bone marrow is forming that actually makes the hemoglobin. And so you can also get birth defects from the measles, in early pregnancy and that kind of thing. There was a very famous pharmaceutical, thalidomide, it was actually made in Australia. It was for morning sickness. And gosh, this goes back about 20 something years ago. And they prescribed it in America for women who were complaining about morning sickness. And they had 10,000 babies in America born with no arms and legs because of the thalidomide. Okay, well, they took that off the market. Okay, so you don't see that kind of birth defect anymore. It's not a genetic thing. And so at any rate, that's why my thesis is in the Smithsonian Institute, because I was able to show them that there are no genetically transmitted birth defects. And that's why I'm considered one of the two fathers of epigenetics, along with Bruce Lipton, a British guy who looks at identical twins who've been separated kind of at birth or in the first year of life, and they go to different parts of the world. And then he checks them 30 years later and see what diseases they have. And of course, it's all different because they're in different locations and so forth, and there's nothing the same, even though they're identical twins. And so I did mine. I did my epigenetic study on 100 fertile eggs from one pair of ducks, one mommy, one daddy. I kept stealing the fertile eggs and putting them in the refrigerator. When I got 100, I divided them up into 4 groups of 25 each and put them all in the incubator at the same time. They all hatched within like 24 hours of each other, divided up the babies into 4 different groups of 25, and then gave each group a different nutrient formula. And the difference in those 4 populations of ducklings was like crazy, even though they're identically genetically, because it came from the same mother, father, the same hatching season, and they were all hatched at the same time, put on a different nutritional formula from the moment they were hatched. And that's all written up and that was what got me to be one of the two fathers of epigenetics, because how many people get to work with 100 identical babies from the same mother, father, from the same pregnancy? Okay, so that and I was just a kid. I was only 20 something years old when I kind of thought of that. And so
Dr. Wallach, real quick, because I've seen a picture of
Mhm.
those 4 different
groups.
groups. Where, in what book? Because I know I've only got several of your books. Specifically, which book has that in it?
Okay, well, it's in Rare Earths Forbidden Cures.
Okay.
And it's also in the book Dead Doctors Don't Lie.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
And it was published in scientific journals, and so it's not like it's just in my circle. This was reviewed by the editors, of these very well respected professional journals, and published, and it freaked everybody out. And so that's why I'm considered, along with Bruce Lipton, one of the two fathers of the science of epigenetics. Very proud of that.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Sorry for interrupting. That's
no
just
problem.
an incredible, analogy of looking at what nutrition does and like something that's exactly the same age.
Okay, so you want me to carry on, or
please do?
Are we waiting?
Please do.
Okay. Well, let's look at some of the more common things that doctors call genetic and autoimmune, none of which is true. There are no autoimmune diseases. Lupus is not autoimmune. It's a simple nutritional deficiency. Same way with rheumatoid arthritis. It's not an autoimmune disease. It's actually an infection with a bug called mycoplasma on top of bone-to-bone arthritis. Type 2 diabetes, which makes up the majority, 98% of all diabetes, type 2 diabetes, is a simple nutritional deficiency of 1 or 2 nutrients. Sometimes you're deficient in both of those. Sometimes you're deficient in either or. And, you know, I take people that are brittle diabetics for 30 years, they've gone blind, they've had their feet cut off and all the usual complications of really bad diabetes. And in 30 days, they're next diabetic, and their doctors throw up their hands and say, you know, we don't know why, but you're not a diabetic anymore. Well, that's because I put them on the nutrients we're missing, and their body's able to heal itself. You have to appreciate when you have type 2 diabetes, your cell walls do not respond to insulin. Most people make plenty of insulin. Their cell walls just don't respond to the insulin they make because they're not getting the cofactor necessary for their cell walls to recognize the insulin. Okay, so you have to use enormous amounts of injectable insulin. If they take oral products, oftentimes the oral products, you know, oral pharmaceuticals won't work because they can't absorb them because they have a gluten problem. And so one of the things you have to do to prevent birth defects, to reverse nutritional deficiencies that cause these chronic diseases said to be genetic, is to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, barley, rye, and oats, and no sugar, and take the appropriate, our core product, of course, is the Healthy Start Pack, which has 90 nutrients in it. And then we have secret sauces for over 600 different diseases. And these secret sauces are these nutrients that you add to the basic Healthy Start Pack. For instance, for diabetes, as we've already talked about a little bit, you have what we call the sweeties to it, and it has the nutrients in it necessary for your cell walls to recognize insulin. And you add that to the Healthy Start Pack, and it becomes the Healthy Blood Sugar Pack. And very quickly, people with type 2 diabetes get well. And I've never had their doctor say, tell me, introduce me. Let's do a three-way with Wallach. I want to find out what they're doing so I can give it to the rest of my patients. They never do, because diabetics are an income stream for doctors over years. Why would they want to cure them? And so, of course, we came up with a new CD. It's called Is Your Doctor Killing You? And it's going to be, it's actually a DVD. I apologize. It's a DVD. It's a very unique DVD. And that we put the science that I'm referring to, the front page of this published article with the abstract and the authors and everything next to my face when I'm saying these things, because they're so outrageous. People say, that can't be right. But, well, it's got to be making that up. So pharmacist Keith, who's been working with us on this, he put that together like that, and it's just really going well. Is Your Doctor Killing You? And we're making it into a CD too, because a lot of people say, I just don't have time to sit there and watch something that's almost 2 hours long. Can you make it into a CD so they can listen to it while they're driving? And so that's good. And we also have another new CD set. It's 2 CDs, okay? These are CDs. It's called Rare Earths Forbidden Cures. It was given to an audience of 1,000 people in Baltimore, Maryland. It's 2 CDs because it was a 2-hour lecture, and it goes along with the book Rare Earths Forbidden Cures, the book itself. But it's perhaps the best lecture I've ever given. So it's a 2 CD set that's available now as we speak. They're shipping today and Monday because we had so many back artists that have been talking about it, you know, before they had it finished. And it's like crazy how many people have listened to it or watched it, whichever piece they got. And then they contact us. They say, my doctor says it can't be right. Well, you know, loan him your DVD, loan him your CD, and let him call the show here, and we'll have a discussion. But they never do. Let's talk about kids now. Kids, of course, need the 90 essential nutrients for at least 6 months before they're conceived. They need the 90 essential nutrients in the mother and the father so that the sperm and the egg are perfectly healthy. The environment in the uterus and the fallopian tubes in the woman is perfect. And then there won't be any more birth defects. Most people, when they ask their doctor, should I not be supplementing and we want to have a family pretty soon? Should I be taking vitamins and minerals? And most doctors say, nah, wait till you get pregnant, then you can take some prenatal vitamins. Well, that doesn't make sense. But just, you know, don't take any now. You're just wasting your money. But just eat well, or you're going to get everything you need. Well, that'd be like a mechanic telling you, oh, don't waste your money on oil. Don't put oil in your car. You're just wasting money. Just put dirt from Texas or Oklahoma in there. There's bound to be some oil in that dirt from Texas and Oklahoma. Now, an insane person would run out of that room screaming and never go back to that mechanic. Okay. if they said just put dirt from Texas or Oklahoma in your car instead of oil. But when a doctor says, oh, just eat well, you get everything you need. Oh, my doctor says I can get everything I need just by eating well. I don't need to take supplements. And that's why we're down in the hole here with our kids and all the problems we have with kids, especially now with COVID. And there's so many problems with kids, you know, emotional problems. That's how I started in this whole thing. When I was 4 years old, I started getting violent, screaming and yelling and disrupting things, even in church. Even if they were sitting on me, I was screaming and yelling. And you know, I'd pick on other kids my size in daycare. And then over years, my 5-year period from 4 to age 9, my mom and dad had taken me to 20 different doctors, pediatricians and behaviorists and psychiatrists and everything, and eye doctors. The last one was a woman eye doctor, psychiatrist for kids, pediatric kind of gal. Her name was, let's see here, it'll come to me in a minute. Mary Jane Skeffington, Dr. Mary Jane Skeffington, from St. Louis. We lived out in the boonies in Missouri, a little Angus farm. And she said I had to be institutionalized. I asked my mother, what does that mean? Remember, I'm 9 years old. What does it mean I had to be institutionalized? She says, well, they're going to put you in a hospital. I said, well, how long am I going to be in the hospital? And she said, well, you might be there the rest of your life because they haven't found a cure for your problems. Well, that didn't sound good to me. So that night when everybody else went to bed, I'm sitting on the end of my bed and I'm thinking, okay, I'm eating the same foods grown in the same soil that we give our animals. And none of the calves, none of the baby chickens, none of the baby pigs, none of the baby sheep, none of the baby horses are having the same problems I am. So if we're eating the same thing, why are they not having the same problem I am? Okay. Well, I thought, you know, I said, you know, we give them a trace mineral salt block to lick. We give them all these vitamins and minerals added to their food. So the next morning, I went to the barn and started putting all of their food in my pockets. And when I had breakfast, I would eat their vitamin mineral supplements. And in 3 days' time, I was cured. After 5 years of getting worse and worse and worse, 20 doctors are going to institutionalize me for the rest of my life. In 3 days' time, I cured myself by just taking vitamins and minerals we were giving animals. I was only 9 years old. We didn't say anything to anybody, but within 3 weeks at the churches, they're pointing at me and whispering because I'm definitely a different person. And after about 5 or 6 weeks, people started coming to me. I'll never forget this one little old lady. She had to be in her 80s. And she was, you know, probably 100 pounds overweight. And she came to me and says, Joel, yes, ma'am. I hear you can cure my diabetes. I said, ma'am, I'm only 9 years old. I don't even know what diabetes is. So I looked it up and, you know, it took time because I had to dig up books on what diabetes was. And they would always talk about high blood sugar, high blood sugar, high blood sugar. But I finally ran into some books that said what it was a deficiency of certain nutrients. And so that's why I was able to begin to cure these people, and the word got out, okay? And so that's how I started my career, and that's where all this started. And so these things are all preventable. They're all reversible. Some birth defects, you know, like cleft palate. We have cleft palate. Now, also I did a wonderful study, was published, where in the zoo, I think it was the Brookfield Zoo, we had a pair of wild Arctic foxes from the wild, and they had babies. They had a litter of 10 babies, and they were all born with cleft palate. Now, these were wild foxes, and we didn't know if the mother and the father were brothers and sisters, or they were just different populations, but they were wild foxes from the Arctic. And they were going to kill them all because they had this terrible genetic birth defect. He said, no, don't kill them, don't kill them. This is not genetic. Mom and dad was missing something during pregnancy when this happened. So what I want to do, this is perfect. It's going to take, let's see, it's going to take 6 months before these baby foxes are going to go through puberty. So I want you to, well, what are you feeding them? And they said, we're just giving them horse meat. And as you give them any vitamins, minerals? No, we just give them horse meat. They're carnivores. They just eat meat. Okay. So I said, okay, what I want you to do is start giving the mother and the father dog food, just dry dog food, any good brand off the shelf. Then I want you to give the babies and the curators and people at the zoo hospital are going to have to feed these baby foxes the milk replacer for orphan puppies. And when they reach maybe 6 weeks of age, they can start eating dog food too. And don't do surgery, don't do anything on them, just leave them be. And when they get to be 6 months and they're starting to look at each other, you know, from a sex standpoint, contact me before you let them get pregnant. And so what I do is make sure they're getting their dog food and everything. And okay, let's put the mother and the father together again. Okay, and I want to take one baby girl with the father, one baby boy with the mother, and all the other baby boys and girls, these are brothers and sisters, I want them to be put together as a pair. And in 62 days after they breed, that's the length of their pregnancy, we'll see. And of course, we had 100 baby foxes born, all with normal palates. Nobody had a cleft palate. And that's because it was just a simple nutritional deficiency during the early stages of pregnancy, because eating horse meat was a very deficient diet. They had lots of protein, maybe had some iron because of the, the myoglobin in the meat, may have had a few other things, but it wasn't consistent. And that's why they had these 10 baby foxes born with cleft palate. Well, I showed is they were thinking it was all genetic. Well, that you can't get inbreeding any more tight than a brother having sex with a sister and the father having sex with a daughter and the mother having sex with a son. And all the babies that resulted were born perfectly normal. And this was published, and again, scientific journals, and this is part of the stuff that goes along with epigenetics and that duck study we talked about, Rebecca, okay? And so just over and over and over, I was able to prove that there are no genetically transmitted diseases. And so the same thing is true for humans. If you have a baby born with a birth defect, whether it's Down syndrome or cleft palate or cycloptic, they got one eye in the middle of the forehead, or they're born deaf, all these things are caused by nutritional deficiencies at a certain time of the embryonic life, when those parts of the body or physiology are being formed in the embryo. And so it's imperative that the mother and father get the 90 essential nutrients for at least 3 months, better yet 6 months, before they get pregnant. And then, of course, all through the pregnancy. And then also when they're breastfeeding the babies, they need to be getting all the 90 essential nutrients, so the nutrition comes through the breast milk into the baby. And so we can eliminate all birth defects. That's a pretty profound statement. We can eliminate all birth defects. We can eliminate all diseases, okay, that are considered genetically transmitted, like diabetes and heart disease. All heart disease is caused by nutritional deficiencies. Cholesterol does not cause plaque in your arteries. Cholesterol does not cause heart disease. And so what causes it? Well, Dr. Milan and I did 1,700 autopsies on kids under the age of 10 in Qishan province, China, published in 3 languages. Okay, the English version is in the Journal of Trace Element Research. Okay, and we proved that this is these heart attacks in these young athletes are due to a deficiency of a single nutrient. People say, tell me. Well, we're not going to tell you what that nutrient is. Okay, you have to get the books, you have to get the CDs, you have to get the 90 essential nutrients. Okay, if you're going to be an athlete, you better take the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, and then use our Rebound or a sports drink with 100 nutrients and with extra of that nutrient. Okay, and then of course we through federal court stuff, I beat the FDA in federal court 10 times. Okay, and we forced them to put these nutrients in baby formulas because these diseases are not genetic. Okay, let's just take cystic fibrosis. I was working at the Yerkes Primate Center with NASA in 1977 in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, and I found the first non-human case of cystic fibrosis, tracked it down, showed that it was a nutritional deficiency, got it ready for publication, and they fired me. They said, Wallach, you must be an idiot. This is a classic example of a genetically transmitted disease. I said, well, I knew you were going to say that. So I saved some frozen tissue from this monkey. I saved blood and everything. And so you can run your own tests and see what you get. No, you're fired. Well, to make a long story short, that's when I went back to school and became a naturopathic physician. In 1978, I began to teach there at the naturopathic school. And by 1982, I had my own degree and was licensed in the state of Oregon, could see patients and so forth, and began to use what I'd learned along with what I'd learned in the College of Naturopathic Medicine on my human patients. And it worked beautifully. And so very quickly, I'm seeing 300 patients a day. I mean, it's almost impossible. So I had to come up with CDs and books and DVDs, and I was giving lectures 2-3 nights a week so I could accommodate that many people. most naturopathic doctors, they'll see 14 patients a week. Well, today I see 2 million a day all over the world in 50 different countries because of individuals like yourself. I have a whole team of people like the medical system does. They have nurses and nurse practitioners and pharmacists and technicians who do a lot of the grunt work, taking blood, taking samples, giving medications and so forth. Well, the same thing is true with me. I kind of work my practice, see 2 million people a day because I'm dealing with 100,000 people who are my associates, and I have all these books and CDs and DVDs. So everybody who's asked a question, whether it's for kids or seniors or middle-aged people, if they're asking a question about a disease, how to prevent it, how to reverse it, how to treat this disease and so forth, everybody is going to give the same answer to the same 2 million people. Everybody would give the same answer. And so it's a very unique situation. I'm very proud of that. And we're always looking for help. And so if you're remotely interested, we are looking for help. We're growing like crazy, you can imagine. It's $50 a year to be an associate, AKA distributor. And you'll be able to take care of kids. I pay you. You know, people, you're going to give your services for free, like I do. I don't get paid by people. I give my services for free. And so basically, you don't need a store. You don't need employees. You don't need inventory. You just take the orders. You forward the orders to Youngevity, and every month Youngevity will send you a check based on the volume you create in your community that you create. Of course, the more distributors you create, the bigger you're going to grow, the faster you're going to grow, okay? Because it's not just you doing everything. And if you want to retire, you take your Youngevity income stream with you, right? You still get your income stream. You pick somebody from your group to run the business after you retire. And in your will, you can will your Youngevity business because it's a willable asset. And of course, everybody, your customers and your associates will pay wholesale prices for the products. And if they get on auto ship, I will pay the shipping. And so they're going to save a lot of money if they get on auto ship and build a business. Okay, so with that, we covered a lot of territory here. And we do have, again, books when it comes to longevity. We have a book and a CD. It's called Immortality. Okay, because of all the stuff going on with the Black Lives Matter. Okay, BLM. This goes back to 2004. I published this book along with Pastor Creflo Dollar from Atlanta, Georgia. I saved his 12-year-old daughter who's supposed to die from a genetic disease. And in 2 weeks' time, I cured her. To make a long story short, there's a long story that goes along with this. But he paid for the publication of the first 10,000 of these books and the CDs that go along with it by the same title, okay? Black Gene Lies. And it goes into all the diseases said to be genetic in the Black population. You know, high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, heart disease, cancer, and so on. Sickle cell anemia, none of which is true. They're all just nutritional deficiencies somewhere along the line during pregnancy or after they're born or whatever. And so it's one of those things where if you get this information into people's hands, we will save more and more and more and more people. So I appreciate that. And with that, I'm going to throw it back to you here, Rebecca. And so you can kind of guide us where we're going.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. That was a great introduction. I have had so many people this week that have asked questions about, you know, what can I take during pregnancy? I had one, my child was just born with Down syndrome. What can I do to help support him now? That type of thing.
Yeah, well, let me speak just briefly about Down syndrome. I'd say deficiency of a single nutrient during pregnancy. Okay, now you can make that child much, 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 much better. You'll never be able to get rid of the Down syndrome once he's got it, but you will be able to increase the learning capacity of that child maybe by 50 to 75%. They'll be more functional, and many of them can hold down jobs and things, okay? And they can play sports and so forth, even with Down syndrome. But you got to get rid of the bad foods, fried foods, processed meats, oils, glutens, wheat, barley, rye, and oats, and get them on the 90 essential nutrients. I'd put them on the heavy hammer. I'd give them, once they're able to eat solid food, I'd give them the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. Before solid food, I'd give them the Kids Toddy and the EFAs. The Kids Toddy is a liquid supplement we put in the baby's formula And I built that for the cystic fibrosis kids. So I need to say something about that. And again, because of that monkey thing, I was in every newspaper in the world every day for 3 months over that story. When they fired me, I was in the newspaper every day for 3 months after they fired me, because, of course, the doctors were whooping it up and saying, we knew he had to be a fraud, blah, 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 blah. And then, but cystic fibrosis is gone, because through the federal courts, we forced the manufacturers of baby formulas to put that nutrient in baby formulas. So cystic fibrosis is gone. Same way with muscular dystrophy. In 2011, I gave this information to Jerry Lewis. We were working with a former Navy SEAL who was actually from an Amish community. Think about that. An Amish kid joins the Navy and becomes a Navy SEAL during the Vietnam War. And so that was crazy. And when he came back, we were working with his mom and dad up in Kansas City. They had a little Amish store. And he liked it. And so he became very, very good with us. His first name is Marvin, and just a great guy. And he was telling me they had so many kids with muscular dystrophy in the Amish community. And so we went there and we gave them the stuff, the nutrients, and we were able to reverse dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens, maybe over 100 kids with muscular dystrophy. Some of them were as old as 30, 40 years old. They've been in wheelchairs for 25, 30 years. And we were able to get them out of there. There's great stories that go along with that. I may or may not have time to tell the stories about Amos Wiki. But he was 31 years old when we got him on the product, and in just 2 months' time, he was perfectly normal. And then, again, we forced the manufacturers of the baby formulas to put that nutrient in the baby formula, so we ended muscular dystrophy. You don't hear about that much anymore. Oh, by the way, when we gave those 100 charts to Jerry Lewis, he got excited. Okay, and he began to interview. Yeah, and he began to interview those people himself, and so he was convinced that this wasn't a hoax. So he takes all this information to the Muscular Dystrophy Association and the telethon, and they fire, before he even walked out of the office, they fire Jerry Lewis, 2011, okay? And that's, that whole story is in, and the Amos Wiki story is in this 2 CD set, okay? Rare Earths Been Cures. And then, let's see here, let's see here. Oh, no, excuse me. April 16, 2013. April 16, 2013, a federal court gave me another win over the FDA in that they forced them to put this nutrient into the baby formulas. This nutritional deficiency was the cause of sudden death syndrome. Only 2% of the babies that died of, quote, sudden death syndrome, unquote, were in bed with their mothers when they died. Only 2%, 98% were not in bed with their mother when they died. Okay? None of them suffocated. They all died of the same heart attack that Dr. Milan and I had done the 1,700 autopsies on in Qishan, China. And there was 200 of those kids, 1,700, 200 of them were under the age of 1 year of age, and they would have been diagnosed with sudden death syndrome here in the States. So we forced them through that federal judge, April 16, 2013, to put it in the baby formulas, okay? You know, Infamil, Similac. Now, a year and a half later, September 13, 2014, guess what? Headlines, I mean, we're talking the same thing would be bold, Third World War started. Okay, headlines on the front page of the Charlotte Observer, Charlotte, North Carolina, kind of like New York Times for New York. We don't know why, but sudden death syndrome has vanished in the state of North Carolina. 3 months later, the same thing happened in the state of Missouri. We don't know why, but sudden death syndrome has vanished in the state of Missouri. Then 3 months later, in every newspaper in the world, we don't know why, but sudden death syndrome has dropped dramatically by 85 to 95% all over the world. Well, that's because the baby formulas all had to have that nutrient put in there, and they want a genetic disease. They weren't being laid on. They weren't suffocating. It was just that heart attack that occurred when that one nutrient was missing. We put it in the baby formulas and it ended it. So those three diseases, cystic fibrosis, muscular dystrophy, and sudden death syndrome, I will personally take credit for getting rid of those three diseases by just, you know, paying attention and observing and doing the right things. Of course, I had won several awards and spoke to the United Nations, including the Klaus Schwartz Award. Okay, and I get, like I say, recognition from the United Nations for those things with those three birth defects. Okay, so I hope that helps too on kids.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I mean, I love those stories. It gives us hope. that we can be empowered of our own health. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And, you know, like the Down syndrome, would it be the same for a child with autism as far as what you would give them?
No, well, they didn't have a name for it when I was a kid. What I had was a violent form of autism, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Autism is easy to prevent. You know, you get the kid on the 90 essential nutrients for 3 to 6 months before they're conceived, all through the pregnancy they're carried in from the moment they're born. If the mother's breastfeeding, make sure she's getting the 90 essential nutrients. You know, the big hammer, the healthy brain and heart pack comes through the breast milk into the baby. And as soon as the baby's starting to drink some baby formulas or something, you want to put our kids toddy, which is a liquid supplement for kids, okay, into the baby formulas along with the EFAs and the omega-3s, and there won't be any autism anymore. There just won't be any, but it's easily reversed if you have it, just because, remember, I reversed 5 years of getting worse and worse and worse and worse. One of the more violent cases of autism back in those days. And in 3 days' time, I cured myself just by taking vitamins and minerals. Okay. Yeah. And so nobody has to have autism for any longer than a couple of weeks. Okay. You get them on the 90 essential nutrients. And again, we have the liquid kids toddy, like hot toddy. You just have to add the EFAs to that. Make sure they're getting all 90, because they only have 88 in the kids toddy. We can't put the EFAs in there. It's got to be their 7 little soft gel capsules. And if the baby's a tiny baby, you just puncture the capsule and squirt it in their formula. Okay. And these diseases all go away.
That's fantastic. Fantastic. So everybody that's on, if you are interested in getting any of Dr. Wallach's publications, you can go to www.drjwallach, WALLACH.com, and you will find almost all of his publications there at that website. So, and that's how Dr. Wallach is supported. He doesn't make any money off of the products that he's recommending. None of the longevity products. It's just off the books and the publications that he's sharing with you today, that is sharing all of his amazing research. I don't know any doctor that has done even half the amount of research that Dr. Wallach has done. And the fact that he has been able to take what he learned as a pathologist and veterinarian and apply it with a direct correlation to the human world, that's just incredible. It's coming from the medical field, and as a statistical analyst, it just blows me away. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Thank you.
So again, we have a whole call team that's standing by waiting for your call if you have any questions or want to get any of the products that Dr. Wallach is talking about, mentioning here. The number for that, it's 855-949-7234. Again, that's 855-949-7234. And you can also go to Ask Doc Live. That's AskDocLive.com. And you can use the contact us with any questions that you may have as well, or respond to the email that gave you the invitation to this call. So Dr. Wallach, let's go ahead and get started with questions.
Okay.
We have several of them with their hands up. And again, if anybody here on the call would like to ask a question, please raise your hand. We're going to try to get to those that have their hands raised, also the comments. And I have over 100 questions I know we're not going to get through that have been emailed in, but we're going to do our best. So first, go ahead, Dr. Wallach.
Okay, one other thing I want to throw at you. It's $50 a year to be licensed as a longevity distributor, okay? $50 a year, and that's tax deductible. And any books or CDs or DVDs that you buy as tools for information is tax deductible, okay? And if you put your business plan together for your longevity business, and your longevity business is going to give you some benefits, okay, as the owner of your longevity business. It's going to give you benefits, including your longevity business will pay for your health insurance and also pay for your supplements. It's tax deductible for your longevity business, and you're going to get all that stuff for free.
And it's awesome. So like Dr. Wallach mentioned before, he has a whole whole army of us who are spreading this news as certified holistic health coaches, which both of my co-hosts on with me are both certified holistic health coaches, and on the call team. So two of the lovely people that you may be reaching when you do call that number. That's Nasima and Ruth Ellen. Love them both. And so the first person, and I want to make a note because I see somebody has their actual hand up. If you click at the bottom and click on participants at the bottom of your screen, you will be able to see a place where you can actually raise your hand. And that's a blue hand that comes up, and we get to those in order. So our first person here, we have Jeff Garver. Jeff, you are on live with Dr. Wallach. Go ahead.
Okay, Doc.
Yes, sir.
My wife and I.
Okay, there's talking. Yeah, there's talking in the background.
Yeah, sorry. So age 65, 6'5", 295, struggle with type 2 for about 10 years now.
Okay. Any other issues? Any skin problems? Any bowel problems? Respiratory problems?
Had one incident where it was probably a year and a half ago, clogged, backup, had to go in. I've had one kidney stone I've had to have removed.
Okay. And let's see here. Okay. So your real complaint right now is diabetes and weight.
Correct.
Okay. And do they say, they're kind of watching you and monitoring you because they're going to think about doing kidney dialysis?
No, interesting. Blood pressure's good, cholesterol's good, everything's good except A1C and blood sugar.
Okay. All right. So what I want you to do is get rid of all the bad foods. Everybody in the household's got to do the same thing. No fried foods, no processed meats with nitrates, no pepperoni, no salami, pastrami, pepperoni, jerky, corned beef, Spam, no bacon, none of that kind of stuff. Even nitrate-free bacon has like 18 chemicals in it, and people still fry it, so you can't have that. So no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils of any kind, no extra virgin olive oil. Turns into trans fats, heterocyclamines, acrylamides, which cause problems because it turns into these severe inflammatory oxidants, cause cancer, cause many problems. And then no oils of any kind, okay, no oils of any kind. And then lastly, no gluten, no wheat, no barley, rye, and oats. That's why little 3-year-olds, when they get the COVID, they have it for 3 days, minor cold-like symptoms, and it's over with, no problem. Very few die. Out of the millions of kids that have gotten it over the world, just maybe 5 or 6 or 8 have died out of the millions, okay? Whereas when you're 63 or 73 or 83, you're eating gluten all the time for 60, 70, 80 years. Your intestines are pretty much dead. All these little finger-like villi are gone. You've lost all those absorptive surfaces. You're down to 3% or less absorption. You can't absorb the nutrients, so your bone marrow can't make the white blood cells that the little 3-year-olds made. And so there's no white blood cells to go kill the virus and eat them. And so that's why it's more severe in seniors than it is in kids, okay? So little kids and yourself, you need to make sure to stay away from the gluten. No wheat, no barley, rye, no oats. You can never, never, never go back to that, okay? Human beings were never meant to eat gluten, okay? But it was a convenient thing. And so we went that direction, but it was an incorrect move. And then at a 200, you said 290?
295, yep.
295, yep, okay. I want you to take, well, you should really be taking 3 of the Healthy Brain and Heart packs per month. If that's a financial issue, don't get below 2. But ideally, optimally, you would take 3, 1 for each 100 pounds. So you take a dose at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I also want you to get 2 bottles a month of our sweeties. So you can take 3 of those twice a day, and get a bottle of our, let's see here, glucogenics, and take 3 of those at lunchtime. And then take your blood sugar every day. And as your blood sugar begins to drop, you can slowly reduce your medication based on the numbers. Do not cold turkey off your medication. And if you want to lose weight faster, you'll lose weight just by getting rid of the bad foods. But if you want to lose a ½ pound to 2 pounds a day, anywhere from 1 to 2 of your 3 meals a day could be a keto caramel meal. It could be either a shake or a meal bar. Even a 300-pound guy, most people can't finish the meal bars. It's so filling, they just can't finish it. And people are always overweight because they're minerally deficient. And of course, you're minerally deficient. We know that because you have type 2 diabetes. That's a mineral deficiency. So when you have mineral deficiency, you get a behavior called PICA, P-I-C-A. It drives you to, even if you've eaten a 5,000 calorie meal within 10 minutes, you're looking for, what are you looking for food for? You're sitting there with your pretzels and your mustard and everything. What are you doing? You just ate a 5,000 calorie dinner. I don't know. I'm hungry. Well, that's because you're missing those minerals and you have pica. You can look it up. Even Webster's Dictionary is such a common thing. Even Webster's Dictionary has a PICA. And you'll lose a half a pound to 2 pounds a day. And so we want you to call us, and on our future Zooms, and just give your testimony, because you're going to be a great testimony both in the area of the diabetes, you're going to be a testimony in the area of weight loss, and you'll be a great, great, great source of hope for other people.
Okay, great. If you got a minute to address my wife's question, she's got Hashimoto's.
Okay, can we do that? Okay, let's go with Hashimoto. I'm sorry, say again?
I said, we're a couple, we're a team. Thank you, Dr. Wallach.
Okay.
42-year team.
Okay, so in addition to your thyroid issue, do you have any other issues? High blood pressure, diabetes, kidney issues, skin problems, bowel problems?
Some bowel problems, MTHFR, ringing in the head. I know you talked about osteoporosis of the skull. It's starting, my hand falls asleep at night.
Yeah, that's because your skull is squeezing your spinal cord, and that's why your hands fall asleep.
And then I
Okay.
have
The ringing in the ears. Mm-hmm.
silent migraines.
Okay.
So that's basically.
How much do you weigh?
I weigh about 136, and I'm
136. Okay.
5'4".
Okay, that's about
5'3"
right.
and a half.
Yeah, that's about right for girls. Okay, so none of the bad foods. So you and hubby are going to be kind of on the same diet.
Oh,
no fried food, no processed.
I was just going to say one thing. I meant to say I'm gluten-free for 25 years, dairy-free, egg-free.
Okay, we need to eat eggs. I want you to eat eggs, but you cannot have
duck eggs.
We
Yeah,
do
I don't care.
Duck,
It could be ostrich eggs for all I care.
No,
Quail eggs,
no.
just.
duck eggs, love them.
Okay, good. Okay, now you need to be quiet, so because we got hundreds of people. Okay. Okay, so now I want you to 130 something pounds. I want you to take one healthy brain and heart pack per month. I want you to get an extra bottle of selenium. One bottle of selenium comes with that. So I want you to take 3 selenium twice a day. Everything else would be a half a dose of breakfast, half a dose at dinner time. I want you to take the MSM, take 3 of those twice a day or 2, 3 times a day for a total of 6 a day. That's 1 bottle a month. That's going to help rebuild your skull. And because you have tinnitus or ringing in the ears, that's a squeezing of the auditory branch of the eighth cranial nerve. You're going to get deaf here pretty soon. And of course, you have bowel problems. That's the gluten issue. There are no such things as gluten-free oats. A lot of people make a mistake thinking, well, I'm buying gluten-free oats. Well, there are no such things as gluten-free oats. And so if you have bowel problems, constipation, diarrhea, irritable bowel syndrome, inflammatory bowel disease, Crohn's disease, all that kind of stuff, that's caused by gluten. Got to get rid. You're still somehow, I don't know if you work in a kitchen or you work in a grocery store or something, you're getting cross-contaminated. It may be from your husband, he's eating it, or you're cooking meals for him or whatever. You're getting cross-contaminated somewhere. Okay, and so you guys need to call me every 2 weeks on these Zooms, and we'll have great testimonies to share with others. Okay, back to you, Rebecca.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, Dr. Wallach. So Joseph has been told that he needs stem cell treatment to rebuild the cartilage in his knees. Your comments, please.
Well, there's a science called crapola. Okay, and that,
Crapology?
no, crapola.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's crap. Okay, you do not need stem cell treatment to regrow cartilage. Does this person say how heavy they are?
They do not. So let's go
Okay,
per 100 pounds.
Okay, let's go per 100 pounds. Okay, they need to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, brown rice, no sugar. And then I would have them take, because we don't know if they have other issues also. So unless I know anything else, I'm going to have them take the big hammer here. I want them to take per 100 pounds of body weight, 1 healthy brain and heart pack. But I also want them to have 1 bottle a month per 100 pounds of body weight of the MSM. So they could take 3 twice a day per 100 pounds of body weight. And that's going to help regrow cartilage. Regrow cartilage, connective tissue, a disc between the vertebrae, bone matrix, bone itself, tendons, ligaments, all that will regrow. And, I deal with professional athletes, Olympic athletes, university athletes, I deal with people who do heavy stuff. I deal with people who are, I mean, we're talking astronauts and famous people, movie actors, very famous politicians. Okay, and so I mean, I am able to regrow cartilage. It's one of the things we first started when I was a veterinarian. I wasn't even a physician yet. I came up with a formula for regrowing cartilage, and I called it Dr. Wallach's pig arthritis formula because I was a veterinarian. I wasn't a physician yet, and I didn't want people to think I was treating people and I'd get in trouble with the licensing board for medical doctors. So I came up with Dr. Wallach's pig arthritis formula, and it was so popular because it worked. And so then I had to change it to the I changed it to the pig pack, and that was so popular. So I changed it to the healthy start pack, and everything went from there. And I was a veterinarian all at the same time when all that was happening. And so yeah, cartilage is one of the easiest things to regrow. And anybody who says they need expensive stem cell treatment, they need surgery, double knee replacement, those doctors should go to jail.
Dr. Wallach, I am a proven testimony of the pig pack with discs, cartilage,
Wow.
bone disc disease. So I can say right here and now, it's incredible.
Well, how long did it take you to regrow cartilage?
The actual regrowth of the cartilage, I don't have an actual time frame, but I know I went from falling up and down stairs to being able to run up and down stairs with no problems in 4 months.
Well, there you go. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, usually within 2 weeks, you're going to start seeing benefit. As I tell people, give us 90 days. But my doctor said I have to have surgery now. Well, that's because he needs a tuition to get his kid into college.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so give it, give it 90 days on our program before you make your decision whether or not you're going to have surgery or not. If you do everything correctly, you won't have surgery for regrowing cartilage or joint problems or muscle or lupus and fibromyalgia and all that kind of stuff. All that's easily reversible with a good diet and the 90 essential nutrients.
All right. Again, if you are interested in getting any of these products, you can go to askdoclive.com, or we have a call team that's standing by at 855-949-7234. And let's go to the next question. So Dr. Wallach, Darlene, she's 5'3", 210 pounds, 59 years old. She was in a car accident, and due to a spinal cord injury in the lumbar section, she is in a wheelchair. And she has vein insufficiency, nerve pain on both sides and behind the ankles, like a burning sensation, throbbing and tingling pain, and was diagnosed with hair loss, which is thinning, shedding, and dryness.
Okay.
Yes. So, what would your recommendations for that? She's not
She's
diabetic.
200 pounds.
Yeah. So she's not diabetic. She doesn't have high blood pressure or meds.
Yeah, I got it. Okay. So she has the symptoms of what we would call sciatica. Okay. Low back stuff, the degenerative disc disease, injury, the vertebrae are getting closer together and smashing the roots of the sciatic nerves coming out of the lower part of the lumbar spinal cord. And that's why she's having all these symptoms in her legs and her feet and ankles and so forth. And she also has the stuff in her hands, right?
She just talks about her legs, doesn't mention anything about the hands in this.
Okay. So it's all from the waist down, all right? No other issues. And so I would have her take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. I'd have her get 2 bottles of the MSM, so she could take 3 with each meal, 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time, help rebuild disc, bone matrix, bone itself, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, excuse me, connective tissue, which includes in the arteries and the skin and in the veins and all the other places we have connective tissue. And because she has circulatory problems, I'd have her take 3 of the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. And that will support healthy blood pressure and also support healthy blood flow through blocked arteries and blocked veins. And if she has varicose veins, the ingredients in the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack will actually help her heal her varicose veins. They go away. I don't care if she's had them for 20 years, but usually with the same deficiency that causes varicose veins will also cause white, gray, or silver hair, which is a cosmetic thing, but it's kind of like the red warning light on the dashboard of the car, and also will cause aneurysms, which you die suddenly from. You know, Michael Jackson, he died of a ruptured aneurysm. He was 51 years old. And, you know, when he was a singer, he had to wear a wig because he had white hair. He had vitiligo. He was losing his skin color. And that's why he wore that glove on his hand, bejeweled. He just made it bejeweled so it looked like a prop. But he lost all the skin color in his hand first, and then he began to lose the skin color everywhere. And he had to wear garish makeup to cover up the fact that he didn't have any skin color. He was kind of a white black guy, because this nutritional deficiency causes you to lose the ability to make melanin or skin color, hair color, elastic fibers in the veins and arteries. And he died of a ruptured aneurysm at age 51. If he'd have done our program, he'd still be alive today, rocking and rolling.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, so one of the great benefits of taking the 90 essential nutrients and getting on one of your weight loss programs is you lose weight. Okay.
That's right.
And so we are wanting to know, and Ron wrote this in, he's 6 foot, he's 67 years old, 158 pounds. And he's taken the 90 essential nutrients and collagen. He wants to know how to take it and anything else he needs to help tighten his aging, saggy skin after losing about 30 pounds.
Okay. He also needs to throw in the MSM. I'd have him take 3 of those with each meal. That's 2 bottles a month of the MSM. It's particularly designed to deal with connective tissue in the skin. Okay. He also needs to have at least 2 bottles a month of the selenium. In our selenium, we have 5 cofactors. That's why I never talk about when somebody has a selenium deficiency disease, I never say take selenium. I say take this product, because if I say take selenium, they'll run to the Walgreens and buy their selenium, and it won't work, because in many cases it's the cofactors in the selenium that make it work. Okay. And so that's what makes ours different. And so I want him to take 3 of our selenium twice a day. And then, of course, MSM 3 times a day. Okay. And did he say he had diabetes or anything like that? No?
No. So
okay.
He's no diabetes. He's already off gluten and off the bad foods. So.
Okay. Well, this will definitely, you know, I'm 81 years old and don't have any wrinkles any place. Most people think I'm 45 or 50 as a result. And because I've been doing this for 71 years now, twice a day for 71 years, not bad for 81.
Not bad at all. All right, wonderful. Thank you so much. Now, next we have Renee. Renee, go ahead and unmute yourself. You're on live with Dr. Wallach.
Good morning.
Good morning. How can we help you?
I've been working with a distributor for about 3 months. And when I first started, I was getting sick every day. I couldn't, like twice a day, I really couldn't eat anything, but I was gaining weight. And so he got me on the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, and I had a hard time taking the full dose. So over the last 3 months, I've gotten better, but it's been very slow.
Okay, well, let's stop there for a minute. We got to back up to the beginning. Why did you go see this distributor? What's your health problems?
2 years ago, I ended up in the hospital with Guillain-Barré. They diagnosed me with Guillain-Barré. They did the spinal tap and everything. And so I can walk again, and I've gotten a lot of my balance back.
Okay, let's stop there a minute. You're saying magic words there. How old are you again?
56.
56, and you weigh how much?
300.
Okay, how tall are you?
5'7".
Yeah, at 5'7", I'd like to see you weigh 150, 160, so you need to lose 150 pounds. Okay, you're severely minerally deficient. And do you live in a household with anybody else?
Yes, and he won't go gluten-free.
Okay, well, as long as you're living in that house with him, you're going to have trouble. So you have to make some choices here, okay? Otherwise, you're in trouble. Otherwise, you're gonna have to fix him food that tastes very, very good that doesn't have gluten in it. Okay, he can eat rice, wild rice, white rice, yellow rice, the same way with you. No fried rice. You can have sweet potatoes. He can have that. But nobody in the household can have any wheat, barley, rye, or oats, even the dog and the cat and the bird and the fish and caregivers and so on. Weight-wise, you need 3 healthy brain and heart packs per month. You're not going to get any benefit from one. You need 3 healthy brain and heart packs per month, 1 per 100 pounds of body weight. And if that's a financial issue, don't go below 2, okay? But ideally, you would take 3, a full dose of everything at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I also want you to have 2 of your 3 meals a keto caramel meal. It can be either the shake or the bar. You can rotate it around, doesn't have to be the same meals every day. And so you may have to have a separate kitchen. That would be an option. You can have a separate kitchen in the house where you have all your meals and stuff like that. You cannot eat together. He brings his food in one door, you bring your food in the other door, okay? And you cook and eat in one place, and he cooks and eats in the other place. And in between washes in your washer and dryer, if you have a washer and dryer at home, you have to run an empty washer and dryer with heavy soap and everything to clean all his gluten off his clothes out of the washer and dryer before you put your clothes in there, okay? And so you may only be able to get frisky in a shower, okay? Because if you're in bed with him, he's going to cross-contaminate you. You understand what I'm saying? And so you're going to have to make some serious adjustments here. Otherwise, you're not going to see much progress. But if you do what I say and take 2 or 3 meals a day, along with your supplements, the weight loss program, okay, the keto caramel diet, either the shake or the bar, you'll lose a half a pound to 2 pounds a day, okay? So you lose 180 pounds in 3 months if you do everything right, okay? And so we do this literally millions of times a month all over the world for weight loss programs. So we're very experienced at this. It never fails. But you're going to have to do something drastic in the way you run your household if you're going to be able to get benefit from this program, because your spouse refuses to give up gluten. So if you want to keep this guy, then he has to have his cooking facilities, maybe, you know, one of these little ovens or something like that. One of you has to do that, and the other one can, you know, stay in the existing kitchen. Okay, so give us a call every couple of weeks. Let us know how you run your house, what you're doing, because you will see benefit. You'll lose weight. You'll feel better. For something to drink, don't use soft drinks. Use our Rebound or sports drink with 100 nutrients in it. It has extra that nutrient. If it's missing, you get that sudden heart death you see in young athletes. Okay, you don't want that, so you want to use our Rebound or sports drink, and it'll kind of reduce your risk and that sort of thing too. Okay, Rebecca, back to you.
All right, so Joseph, who had the question about the stem cell, he's saying thank you for saving him $8,000.
Mm-hmm.
Next is we have Mike, and Mike wants to get off his blood pressure pills. His pressure has gone low and thinks that he needs to get off them. What are your recommendations for doing that?
Okay, doesn't give you any weight or anything like that?
No.
Okay, we'll go by 100 pounds. Well, he needs to get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, butter, rye, and oats, no sugar. And then per 100 pounds of body weight, I want him to have 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month. I want him to have 2 of the Ultimate Daily Classic tablet bottles per month, so he can take 3 of those twice a day per 100 pounds of body weight. And his blood pressure will come down. He'll be able to slowly.
So it is down.
Okay, well then he can cut
said that
his.
It has gone too low.
Okay, well he needs to cut his. I'd cut his medication in half. Then he needs to cut his medication in half at this point. Don't just cold turkey drop it, but I'd cut it in half if his blood pressure's gone too low. Okay. And so, does he have any other issues? Did he say any other issues like diabetes or arthritis or anything?
And he does not say.
Okay, so let's just go there. And but he can cut his blood pressure medication in half if his blood pressure's gone too low.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Dr. Wallach. Now we are at the top of the hour. Did you want to take a couple minutes or you want to keep going?
Well, let me take a little break here.
All right.
And I'll be back in a few minutes.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mute your line, and we'll see you in a moment. All right, thank you everybody for joining us today. For those of you that are patiently have your hands up, you are awesome. Also those that have the chats in the waiting room. We will get to as many of those as possible. So again, if you are wanting to, if you're a brand new customer, you've never ordered any of Dr. Wallach's protocols before, and you're thinking, okay, now's the time. There's no better time than the moment. We do have a team of people that are health coaches standing by, ready to take your call. Their number is 855-949-7234. So if you'd like to give them a call, they can get you started on a protocol right for you. You can also go to AskDocLive.com, and you'll find a store with all of the products there that you can then do a search for products that Dr. Wallach has mentioned today on this call, and go ahead and get started on your own if you want. We are here for you. So we do this call every week. We want to be able to make sure that people are getting the information that they need to help them empower themselves and taking back their own health. Because for many, what they've been doing for 20, 30, 40 years isn't getting them any better. And like I mentioned before, I'm living proof of a testimony that the pig pack works. 30 years ago, well, it wasn't quite 30 years ago, 20 years ago though, at the age of 30, I was diagnosed with degenerative bone and disc disease. I had bone spurs head to toe. I had fibromyalgia, arthritis everywhere. And when the neurologist had come in after looking at my MRI, he turned around and walked back out and then came in and apologized. He said, I thought I was coming in to see somebody at least 65, 70 years old in very poor health, not a fit 30-year-old female. That basically explained why I hurt so bad. And to be honest with you, I thought everybody had pain, because I started pain when I was, as early as I can remember, when I was 8 years old. I mean, I couldn't run and keep up with my cousins. I had migraines that kept me from being able to do the sports that I wanted. But I tried. I was a girl playing baseball on a boys team and did my best until I just couldn't do it anymore. And then 16, they wanted to scrape the back sides of my kneecaps because I had calcium overgrowth. And I was just falling up and down stairs. It was horrible. It was not a fun childhood, and I had the mind of wanting to be very athletic and wanted to be active, and my body just said no. But I found Dr. Wallach's products about 4.5 years ago, and it has completely changed my life. I have been able to play in the snow with my 4 grandchildren, going up and down our hills, sledding. And even my oldest son said, Mom, you didn't do this with us when we were kids. How are you doing it now? And I told him, I was like, you know those supplements that you get every month? I actually take them, and it works. So he started taking them because he was having lower back pain. And sure enough, he's ordering his own now. So welcome back, Dr. Wallach. I'm going to go ahead and unmute you. So go ahead and unmute yourself.
That
Awesome.
good?
Yep, we are golden. Golden,
All right.
golden. All right, so let's go to our next person with their hand up, and this is area code 805. Go ahead and unmute yourself. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Good morning, Dr. Wallach.
Good morning.
I'm calling about someone who is 130 pounds. She is 23. She has spina bifida, a shunt. She is catheterized, and she was born with a cleft palate. What can we do for her now?
Okay, well, the beautiful part about this, if she has children and she's taking her supplements, her babies won't have these birth defects. They're not a genetic thing, okay? Spina bifida and cleft palate and these kinds of things are not something you can reverse using vitamins and minerals. You can prevent them with vitamins and minerals, but once you have them, there are surgical cases, okay? And she's 130 something pounds. We can add many healthful years to her life, and there's no reason why she can't have normal children as long as all her female parts are there where they're supposed to be and functioning. And so I'd give her at 130 something pounds, give her 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month, no bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, butter, and oats. I'd also get her another bottle of selenium so she could take 3 twice a day. 1 bottle of selenium will come with that healthy brain and heart pack. I would also throw in some MSM. I'd give her a bottle of MSM also. She could take 6 of those a day, 2, 2, and 2, or 3 and 3. And that's going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, discs between the vertebrae, bone breaks, bone cell. But it's not going to repair those birth defects. Her mother was missing quite a few things during pregnancy, just like those Arctic foxes I talked about in the first hour, where the babies were born with the cleft palates. But then when I had the brother and sister with cleft palates have babies, and the father and a baby girl with cleft palate have babies, and the mother with a son that had a cleft palate, all the babies that occurred were normal because we were giving them dog food with all the vitamins and minerals in it. Okay. And so is one of the reasons that poor people who live under the bridge, eating dog food, they live longer than billionaires.
Thank you so much.
You bet.
All right. So Dr. Wallach, next we have a gentleman here who's had some issues with prostate, including the C word, and had to have surgery. And after that surgery, it caused erectile dysfunction. And he's wanting to know, are there any products to keep the C word in check and possibly improve the erectile dysfunction?
Well, I'd want to know the status. Is he considered 100% remission, that sort of stuff? Because if you give him something that's going to deal with the erectile dysfunction, there's some non-hormone ways we can do that, which wouldn't have an effect even if the cancer is still there. Okay, so let's go that direction until we find more information.
Okay, so he did have mentioned here a Gleason score of 5+3. And the most recent PSA is a negative 0.002.
Mm-hmm. And negative, huh? Okay.
That's what he said. Yeah.
Okay. Did he say how much he weighs?
No, he does not.
Okay, well, let's just say he's an average size guy, 170 pounds, kind of 150 to 170 pounds. I want to get rid of all the bad foods. They're the things that cause the prostate cancer. No fried foods, no processed meats, no nitrates and nitrites, no oils of any kind, no gluten, no wheat, butter, rye, and oats, no wheat, butter, rye, and oats, and then no sugar. And then I'd have him take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. Unless he weighs 300 pounds, then he needs 3 healthy brain and heart packs per month. But if he weighs 150, 170, with his cancer background, I'd have him take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, full dose everything twice a day. And also have him take some of our anti-inflammatories or antioxidants. I'd have him take like our pollen burst, the grape flavor. It says right on the label, gluten-free. And I want him to take 2 doses a day. It has SOD, superoxide dismutase in it, kind of quiets down inflammation and reduces pain and that kind of stuff and swelling. I also want him to, let's see here. I also want him to take our Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. I want him to take 3 of those 3 times a day. That'll support healthy blood pressure, but also healthy blood flow through every place where there's blockages. And, maybe some of this blockages and erectile dysfunction stuff has to do with blood flow as opposed to hormones. So let's give it a shot and try the 3 of the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets 3 times a day. That's 3 bottles a month. And let's start there. Okay. And
okay. Yep. let's next go to Christine with her hand up. Oh, wait. Christine, I just sent you a request to unmute yourself. Go ahead and unmute yourself, please. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Hi, Dr. Wallach.
Hi, how can we help you?
Yeah, my question is, what will you recommend to reverse autism in children? I have quite a number with the cases of autism.
Okay, autism is not a genetic disease. It's not something that cannot be reversed. It's totally preventable, totally reversible. So what they need to do is if they're you know, if they're like 3 years old, they need to take the kids toddy. Okay, just follow the label for directions and dosages. Kids toddy's liquid. They also need the EFAs. I'd also have them take our zinc lozenges. They taste like raspberries, and you know, they could take, if they're a little kid, they can take one a day, break it in half, so they have a half at breakfast, half at dinner time. If the kid is like 6 years old, they could take one a day. If they're 12, 15 years old, they could take 2 a day of the zinc lozenges. Okay, that'll help. But they also need to be eating eggs. They need to eat soft scrambled eggs, soft poached eggs with soft yolks. Do not put flour. Don't mix any wheat flour. It's got to get rid of all the wheat, brought around oats. No waffles for breakfast. No pancakes for breakfast. No French toast for breakfast. No breakfast of champions. You know, no Wheaties. No cream of wheat. No oatmeal. All that's got to go. They can have rice for breakfast. No fried rice, but they can have wild rice, white rice, red rice. They can have sweet potatoes with butter for breakfast. Okay. I also like kids with autism to have some smoked salmon for breakfast. It tastes very good, and they get some high quality animal protein, and there's no gluten in it, but it's kind of tasty and a little unique, and say, hey, you're getting this because you're special. Okay. And for energy, and no soft drinks, even the diet drinks they cannot have, they can have our Rebound or sports drink with 100 nutrients in it. Okay. And, but everybody's got to be, and they have to understand that they'll have more friends if they are gluten-free. If they eat gluten, they won't have many friends. Okay.
All right. A second question, what about someone with a very severe migraine? Is there any procedure to help them correct that condition?
Yes, well, they got to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, butter, rye, oats, no sugar. And then they need one healthy brain and heart pack per 100 pounds of body weight. Okay. And let's start there, and then call me every 2 weeks on the Zoom here, and we'll walk you guys through this. But let's see what that does.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Now, Betsy has a comment here. She wants to know how she can help a 60-year-old woman who has had most of her intestines and colon removed. She is only just starting to be gluten-free, but is in considerable pain all the time. Anything that she eats, even liquids, bothers her. What can she do?
Yeah. Well, I'd want to know who those doctors were that took her intestines out. Okay, because all she had to do was get gluten-free. She probably had irritable bowel syndrome or Crohn's disease or celiac disease or something like that. And instead of getting her on a gluten-free diet and giving her the 90, they cut her intestines out. Okay. It's like saying, oh, you had a fractured leg here. Let's cut your leg off. That's the same stupidity, right?
Right.
Okay. So she needs to get rid of all the bad stuff. Okay. And she needs to, did she say how much she weighed? I forgot.
No, the only thing I have is a 68-year-old woman.
Okay, yeah, well, she's in big trouble, okay, because she has this pre-existing condition here where her small intestines are gone, her colon is gone, so she doesn't have efficient absorption to give nutrition to her immune system and her bone marrow, which makes white blood cells and antibodies and platelets and red blood cells. And so she's the sort of person who's in big trouble if she gets the COVID-19, okay? She's not going to be able to respond properly to that. So this is something she's going to have to really, really pay attention to. Needs to get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, butter, rye, oats, no sugar. And I would have her per 100 pounds of body weight take one healthy brain and heart pack per month. If she only weighs 80 pounds, I'd have her get that one Healthy Brain and Heart pack per month. I'd have her take another bottle of selenium so she could take 3 of those twice a day and a half of those for everything else twice a day. I would also have her take the ultimate enzymes. I'd have her take 1 or 2 of those, say 2 minutes before each meal with a couple ounces of water to maximize absorption, maximize whatever. She's got to be absorbing something, okay? Otherwise, she wouldn't be alive unless she's being fed totally by intravenous, okay? But then she's going to get nutritional deficiencies unless she's getting on our program. And so it's one of those things where we need a lot more information to help her as much as help as she needs. So let her know she needs to contact us immediately for a more complete program. We need more information.
All right, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so next we have an email that came in from Jeff. And Jeff is wanting to know what natural products can he take to get rid of an overactive bladder. He's 182 pounds, 5'10", and is 59 years old.
Okay, well, an overactive bladder usually is caused by a low back problem, kind of a sciatica thing, where it has degenerative disc disease, the vertebrae are getting closer together, smashing the roots of the sciatic nerves that control the bladder. Okay, and so at 100, you said 162 pounds?
185.
185, okay. So 185, I'd have them take, get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, butter, ryenos, no sugar. I'd have them take 2 Healthy Brain and Heart packs per month, 2 Healthy Brain and Heart packs per month. I'd also have them take 2 bottles a month of the MSM, so you could take 9 of those a day, 3 with each meal. We want to regrow the disc between the vertebrae. We want to regrow cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue all over the body, but particularly in the lower back. That'll relieve a lot of stuff, including this overactive bladder. There also may be a pre-diabetic thing going on there. So this guy needs to go to the pharmacy without a prescription, get some of these test strips that for urine and the finger blood stick to find out if he's got diabetes, okay, or a pre-diabetic situation, because that can also cause extra urination. So he needs to determine that and eliminate that possibility. If he does have a pre-diabetic situation, he also needs to take 3 of the Sweeties twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. Okay.
Okay, perfect. All right, so next we have a 70-year-old female. She's 190 pounds and 5'10" with fibromyalgia, and female. Like,
Okay,
you know,
female, and she's 190 pounds, you say?
190 pounds at 5'10".
Yeah, 5'10" for a lady. I'd like to see her weigh like 160, 170, so she may be 20, 30 pounds overweight. But that won't be difficult. I want her to get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens. And fibromyalgia, as the name implies, is an inflammation of the connective tissue of the body. It could be in the joints, it could be, you know, in her back and her neck and shoulders and all that kind of stuff. It could also be she has osteoporosis of the skull. So I'd like her, and you say she weighs 190 pounds, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'd have her take 2 of the Healthy Brain and Heart packs per month, you know, none of the bad foods, 2 Healthy Brain and Heart packs per month, the full dose, everything twice a day. I'd have her take the MSM, 2 bottles a month there, so she could take 3 with each meal. And that's going to help rebuild connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, all that kind of stuff. I also want her to take the vitamin D3. She could take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. And I wanted her to take our collagen. I like the glucogel. It's a beef collagen, very simple. It comes in capsules, 2 bottles a month she could take. So she could take 5 3 times a day. I weigh 142 and I take 5 3 times a day of the glucogel. And I'm, you know, like I say, 81 years old and I can kick butt. Don't have any health issues except some of the injuries that I've had from falling in construction sites up in Canada during the dark. I shouldn't have been walking through there in the dark. But at any rate, so I don't have any health issues because I've been doing this for 71 years.
All right, next let's go to Lexa, who has their hand up. Lexa, I sent you a request to unmute. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Awesome, thank you so much. I am 56 years old. I weigh 125 pounds. I'm 5'4" tall. I have some right lower quadrant intestinal pain that's been off and on for several months. When I used to have pancreatitis, I don't know if it's a result from that, but the pancreatitis is gone, but this intestinal pain discomfort continues.
Okay, well, some doctors may say you have a gallbladder problem. If you were like 12 years old, they'd say you had appendicitis, right? And so, you know, have they done any diagnostics, like have you swallow some stuff and then take pictures of that, or?
Yes, they said back when this was really flared up a lot at first that the intestines were swollen. That's it. They did a colonoscopy. Everything came clear except for some polyps.
Okay, so you have some polyps and some swelling.
Yes.
Okay, how's your kidneys doing?
Everything else is great.
No,
other
no blood
problems.
pressure, no blood pressure issues, no diabetes, and that kind of stuff.
Correct.
Okay, no skin issues, no eczema, dermatitis, or psoriasis, or rosacea on your face.
No, sir.
Okay, no respiratory problems, no asthma or bronchitis.
I had some asthma. I'm taking a homeopath that has cleared that.
Okay, now, do you have children?
Yes.
Do they have any of those problems?
My daughter has some anxiety issues only.
Okay. Yeah, well, you know, everybody in the household's got a gluten problem. So everybody's got to be drop dead gluten free, no wheat, butter, rye, and oats, no sugar, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils. And then for yourself at 130 something pounds, I want you to take one healthy brain and heart pack per month, that MSM, 3 of those 3 times a day. That's 2 bottles a month, the MSM. Vitamin D3, 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. And then the glucogel, take 5 of those 3 times a day. And that'll be 2 bottles a month. They're big bottles. And give it 90 days before you make any decisions. Okay, but the odds are everything will be fine. But you have to stay on this strict gluten-free diet forever. Okay, and you have to take the 90 essential nutrients forever.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I
You bet.
love it.
Okay, God bless. Bye-bye.
You too.
Okay, Rebecca.
Dr. Wallach, we have Mari. She has somebody that's a 43-year-old female with high blood pressure, overweight, back pain, and 2 bowel obstructions that are settled without surgery. So she doesn't give a weight or height. What would
Okay, well,
we do?
let's go by 100 pounds of body weight, right? None of the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, butter, no sugar. I can say that faster and faster now because everybody's heard it 10 times. And then per 100 pounds of body weight, I'd have her take 1 healthy brain and heart pack for 100 pounds of body weight. And you said she has high blood pressure, correct?
Correct.
Okay, I'd have her take 3 of the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets twice a day for 100 pounds of body weight. It'll support healthy blood pressure and healthy blood flow through blocked arteries. Because she says she's overweight, I don't know if she's 30 pounds overweight, 50 pounds overweight, or 300 pounds overweight. Let's have her, in addition to all the supplements, I want her to have 2 of her 3 meals, a keto caramel diet. It could be, and it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be the same meals every day. One of the 2 meals could be a shake, or both meals could be the shake. Or one of the meals could be a bar, and the other meal a shake, or both meals could be a bar. Okay, and it can rotate around the time and the meals, and it could depend. One day she may have both meals as a shake. Another day both meals could be a bar, and so on. And we need to, have her call in on the Zoom every couple of weeks and let us know her weight, let us know how her blood pressure is doing, and get rid of all the bad stuff. We can, with this program, she should be able to regrow cartilage and ligaments and tendons and connective tissue. And we do want her to let us know if she has a blood test. We want to know if she has low blood platelets, if she has any kidney issues. That'll be very useful information.
Awesome. And you mentioned the keto caramel shakes. I am loving the strawberry cream and the chocolate cream in the keto line also. So,
oh, yeah, it's amazing stuff.
It is. All right, next let's go to Mitch, who has his hand up. Mitch, go ahead and unmute yourself. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Thank you, and hello, thank you for taking my call. I'm 68 years old, 182 pounds, 5'7". I have a rare blood condition called polycythemia vera. What can I do to mitigate this issue?
Okay, when were you diagnosed with that?
About 1 year ago.
Okay. All right. Any other issues? Any skin problems, high blood pressure, diabetes, arthritis?
I have a little bit of arthritis in my thumbs. I have high blood pressure.
Okay.
My skin in the Florida sun, it looks like it may be dry skin and a lot of sun
Okay.
exposure.
Okay. Now, do you have any ringing in the ears, any tinnitus, kind of, that tone, kind of like a...
I do have continual tinnitus.
Okay. Any vertigo, any dizziness?
No, not so much. Maybe from pressure medication a little bit.
Okay. Do you have any history of loss of the sense of smell or taste?
No.
Okay. Let's see here. You said you had arthritis and numbness or pain or something in your thumbs?
Yes.
Okay. Anything going on with your heart? Do you have a fast heart rate or a slow heart rate or
My
a
heart
regular
rate-
heart rate?
No, my heart rate's good.
Okay, good. Well, you have osteoporosis of the skull. You're squeezing the auditory branch of the eighth cranial nerve, okay, causing this tinnitus, ringing in the ears. And your skull could also be squeezing your spinal cord, which could be causing this issue in your thumbs, okay? It used to be called Erb's palsy. Some doctors might say, you might have some fibromyalgia in your arms. You may have some ligament problems in your wrist and your hands and so forth. Okay, we need to do some surgery. But usually it's the osteoporosis of the skull squeezing the spinal cord as it comes out of the back of the skull, and the disc in your neck and your upper back squeezing the nerves coming out of the spinal cord going down your arms. And so what I want you to do is get rid of all the bad stuff: no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, rye, and oats, no sugar of any kind. And then I want you to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day, a full dose of breakfast, full dose at dinner time. I also want you to get 2 bottles a month of our MSM, so you can take 3 of those with each meal. We want to rebuild the skull, open up all those holes, take the pressure off those nerves and the spinal cord. And, also it's going to be very good for your bone marrow. Did they say you had low platelets or anything like that when they did your blood test?
No, my platelets have been good. It's mostly the high red blood cell count that's indicative of it.
Okay, I gotcha. Okay, and so let's just go with that, and call us every couple of weeks, or call us every time you go in to see the doctor and you get another blood test and you're getting some kind of feedback on what's going on, and we'll walk you through this. This is totally reversible.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so Dr. Wallach, our blood is manufactured in our bone marrow, right? So the healthier our bones are and the healthier our marrow is, then the healthier the blood itself will be.
That is correct. There's so many diseases that people go to doctors for. Older people, they get bleeding under the skin. That's because they have low blood platelets, because they have a gluten problem. They're not absorbing the nutrients necessary for the bone marrow to make platelets. I'll tell you a horrible story. I may have talked about it last week, but there's new listeners on. There's a very famous guy who ran for president in 2010 or 12 or whatever it was. And he's 74 years old. He's a billionaire. And he was the CEO of Godfather's Pizza. Okay. And his name was Herman Cain. And the last day of June of this year, he was diagnosed with COVID-19. They put him in a very expensive private hospital, and they put him on, he had respiratory distress. They put him on oxygen and some drugs to deal with a viral lung infection. 29 days later, he's dead. He didn't even live a month after they put him on treatment. He's a billionaire, 74 years old. When they did the autopsy, they found that he didn't have a respiratory infection at all, but he had funny clumping of red blood cells in his capillaries, which blocked off the blood flow into the lungs, so he wasn't getting any oxygen that way. That's why he showed respiratory symptoms. But he also had 8 pre-existing conditions total, okay? And so here's a billionaire. They gave him the wrong treatment, but because he had these 8 pre-existing conditions, the COVID-19 killed him. Okay, so it's imperative, if you have any of these pre-existing conditions, don't wait until you're sick with COVID to worry about them. You get rid of them now. Okay, almost all of them you can get rid of in 90 days. Okay, and don't forget, you want to get a hold of that quartet of books, Let's Play Doctor, Let's Play Herbal Doctor, Passport from Therapy, and it's all in your head, those 4 books. And they will teach you how to get rid of all of these pre-existing conditions. They're all nutritional deficiencies, okay? Most of them are caused by this gluten issue, and even if you're supplementing, you're not absorbing enough nutrients because your intestines are damaged. And this is why you have weird things with bleeding and low blood platelets and low white blood cells, and can't kill the virus because you're not making enough white blood cells because your bone marrow's dead, and so forth, just like this billionaire, Herman Cain. Okay, so I just want to kind of throw that in. Get rid of the pre-existing cofactors, including obesity. Of course, don't forget, if you have obesity, you want to get a hold of my book, Hell's Kitchen, and the CD, Hell's Kitchen. Was the first book ever written to deal with obesity that works. Okay. Obesity is not eating too much. It's not lack of exercise. Obesity is caused by a nutritional deficiency. And of course, you know, our weight loss program has the nutritional supplements in it, as well as the weight loss piece. And exercise without supplementation is suicide. So don't just exercise and try and cut calories and think you're going to deal with your weight loss problem, okay? Get a hold of that book, Hell's Kitchen, the CD, Hell's Kitchen, and you'll be shocked at what doctors aren't sharing with you.
All right, Dr. Wallach, next we have Clyde. Has cirrhosis of the liver, fatty liver, not caused by alcohol, as I don't drink, overweight, 5'9", 210 pounds, 76 years old of age. What do you suggest?
Okay, got to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, butter, and oats, no sugar. How many nutrients does your liver need? 90. Your liver is a hard-working organ. It does a lot of stuff for the body, okay? It needs 90 essential nutrients in maximum pre-mega optimal amounts. I take people who had maybe 8, 10, 12, 15, 20 liver operations. Their livers are the size of a chicken egg. It should be the size of a small watermelon. And so in 90 days of my program, they regrow their liver. So especially when you have a fatty liver and liver cirrhosis and it's not due to alcohol, guess what? It's due to a nutritional deficiency. So 1 healthy brain and heart pack per 100 pounds of body weight. The MSM, 3 of those twice a day per 100 pounds of body weight. Okay. And if there's no cancer involved anywhere, then I would throw in the immortalium, which encourages stem cells to rebuild new tissue, including liver tissue. Take 3 of those 3 times a day, be 3 bottles a month of the immortalium. Liver cirrhosis is very easy to get rid of. Fatty liver is very easy to get rid of. It's totally a nutritional deficiency, but they got to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, butter, and oats, and no sugar.
All right. Next, let's go to Norm. Norm, I just sent you a request to unmute yourself. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Yes.
Norm.
Yeah, I was talking to you the other day on the radio, but I had so many questions we didn't get to them. Mainly, I got a question about my wife, and then I have one about my dog, because since you're a vet. But she's 63, 187 pounds, 5'7". The main thing is she has this thing called syncope. And
yeah, she's got a funny heart rhythm.
Oh, they said they did a thing on her neck or carotid artery or something, said she might have a blockage or something.
Okay, yeah, another name for that, could be atrial fibrillation, AFib, or syncope. But her heart skips a beat or jumps around, all kinds of stuff. Has she shrunk any since she was 20 years old?
You asked me that the other day. I finally measured myself.
No, I'm talking about her. We're talking about your wife right now.
But we never measured her, so I don't know.
Okay, that's important information. Okay. Also, does she complain about any ringing in the ears, any tinnitus?
No, she doesn't have that. No.
Okay. Does she have any balance problems?
No.
Okay. All right. And she weighs 100 and what?
87.
187. Okay.
Yeah,
so
she's overweight.
I'd have her take 2 of the healthy, none of the bad foods. You both have to be free of gluten, wheat, butter, and oats, fried foods, processed meats, sugar, all that's got to go. Then I want her to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. I want her to take the MSM. I want her to get 2 bottles a month of that so she can take 3 times a day of the MSM, help rebuild the skull, the vertebrae, the disc between the vertebrae. And then I want her to have the Ultimate Daily Classic tablet. She can take 3 of those 3 times a day, every 3 bottles a month. That will support healthy blood pressure and healthy blood flow through blocked arteries anywhere, whether it's the brain, the carotid arteries, the coronary arteries in the heart. But then I'm going to tell you a quick story. And I may have told you this story last, when you were on the radio, but I'm going to tell this for the rest of our Zoom attendees here, okay? And this goes to a U.S. congressman from Baltimore, Maryland, okay, called Elijah Cummings. And he had something very similar to what your wife has, and they diagnosed it as AFib, and they said he needs ablation. Ablation is a killing a portion of the heart muscle that's kind of running amok and doing weird things. And they talked him into it. Okay, so Johns Hopkins talked Elijah Cummings into having an ablation to get rid of this atrial fibrillation. So he goes in, they anesthetize him. Remember, this is a medical school. They anesthetize him. They cut his chest open. They take a hot soldering iron and touch it to his heart muscle where they think it's the part that's going weirdo, jumping his heart around, and they kill him. Okay, they leave the technician close up the body, and they go out and have a pizza, and they're talking to each other. Now I'm just guessing at this part, they're saying, what the heck happened there? I mean, old Elijah shouldn't have died. And then they went on about their life. They killed a U.S. congressman. They didn't even have to stand trial. Okay? And so don't let your wife go through any of those kind of surgeries, because this is something that's totally reversible just from a supplement program and a change in diet.
Okay. Our pet, 27 years old, or excuse me, 27 pounds. He has a heart problem, born with it. And I want to know, can I give him the Orthodex supplement? You think he'll benefit from the supplement without hurting his heart any further? On a scale of 1 to 6, he's a 5 bad.
Okay, well, the supplement's not going to hurt any tissue, okay? And so you say he weighs 27 pounds.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, so he needs a scoop and a half of the Orthodex every day. And then I'd have him take 2 of the EFAs a day. Could have 1 EFA and 1 EFA plus. You need 1 bottle of each of those. That's going to prevent blood clots and all that kind of stuff. Okay. And I'd also get an extra bottle of our selenium, and I'd give him 1 of our selenium capsules so you can open them up and dump them in his food, or just throw it down his throat and rub his little throat and have him swallow it. Selenium. And all that stuff is, all that stuff is going to help. It's a longevity product, comes in a bottle of capsules. Okay, and there's selenium in the Orthodex, but I want to get on this. If he's been born with his heart disease, he's
Aortic Stenosis is what they call it.
Okay, well that's an artery disease. That's not a heart disease.
Oh,
aortic is the large blood vessel that comes out of the heart.
Oh,
okay. Aortic stenosis means that the artery is smaller than it's supposed to be. So yeah, the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets and the MSM will be perfect for that. Okay.
Thank you.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. And
Thank you.
You're very welcome, Norm. All right. For those of you who are joining us and you're wanting to get some products, whether you're a new customer or old customer, we are here for you. For those of you who have ordered in the past and you do not know the information, the contact information for your distributor, please feel free to call our Longevity corporate office. The number is 1-800-982-3189 and choose option number 2. They'll be able to look up your account and get products ordered for you quickly. If you know who your distributor is, go ahead and contact your distributor. They're there to help support you on this health journey. And if you have never ordered any products before and you're brand new, go ahead and give our call team at 855-949-7234. Again, 855-949-7234 a call. They're standing by to help you. Now, Dr. Wallach, we have Johanna with her hand up, patiently waiting. Johanna, I just sent you a request. Unmute yourself. You're on live with Dr. Wallach.
Okay, I did. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Loud and clear.
Yeah, okay. Dr. Wallach, I am a distributor. Actually, I'm health certified now. So, but I'm still
Congratulations.
learning. Thank you. Still learning a lot. I asked this question before, but I didn't get an answer. I am, 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with multiple myeloma. I've been a diabetic type 2 for 20, maybe 22 years now. So I'm still on pills. I'm on metformin and Januvia. With the multiple myeloma, the doctor has put me on an oral medication called Revlimid. Okay, the side effect that I get is diarrhea. It's chronic diarrhea all the time. I mean, you know, I've come off basically everything you said come off of. I ordered microbiome, but now I'm wondering, should I take that?
Okay, well, let's stop there because we have a handful of stuff here. Multiple myeloma is a bone marrow cancer, right?
Right.
Okay, and so we have to be careful of what we treat you with here.
Right.
So, and you give me your weight again.
Oh, like 152.
Okay,
152. 152.
Okay, 152. So I want you to get rid of all the bad foods. And again, this is for our greater listening audience as well as you. So no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bran, rye, oats, no sugar.
Okay.
And then I want you to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, the full dose of everything twice a day. I want you to get the MSM, get 2 bottles a month of MSM, so you can take 9 a day, 3 with each meal. That's going to support and promote maintenance repair of bone marrow, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, all that kind of stuff. Okay. Then I would also take things that are going to support your immune system. Okay. We have, of course, we have the pollen burst with SOD in it, superoxide dismutase. It reduces inflammation and supports the immune system. So I want you to have 2 servings a day of that. Either comes in capsules or powder, whichever one you want to use. Okay, I like the grape flavored one myself because right on the label it says gluten-free very clearly. Okay. And then I also want you to get our Cell Shield RTQ. Cell Shield RTQ, get 2 bottles of that, so you can take 3 of those twice a day to support your immune system, reduce inflammation. And lastly, for that thing, I want you to throw in 2 bottles a month of our BTT 2.0 tablets. Now, these BTT 2.0 tablets are not in exchange for the BTT 2.0 powder that comes with the Healthy Brain and Heart Packs. The powder is vitamins and minerals. The tablets are antioxidants. Okay. They're the big hammer. Now, you haven't been trying to make that exchange, have you?
No.
You sound okay because you're sounding like, uh-oh, I made a mistake there. Okay.
No, I didn't order that. I took them and I stopped the tablets and ordered the powder.
Okay, good. Yeah, you want the powder for the vitamins and minerals, but then you want the tablets to support your immune system and reduce inflammation.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go with all that. And then, you know, how often are you going in to see the doctor?
Every 3 months now.
Okay.
Every 3 months.
Okay, well, certainly when you go in and get some kind of evaluation or status report, you want to call us, you know, on the Zoom and let us know what it is. In the meantime, call us every couple of weeks anyway and give us a status report, and we can kind of tweak things as we go along here. But we do want to hear what the doctors say, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, Dr. Wallach, we have Ty who has emailed in. He's 6'2", 58 years old. He is a former rugby and football player, as well as an alpine skier, at now 330 pounds. He has lower back pain, joint pain, inflammation in his ankles and feet. Wants to know what is the best approach for him.
Okay, well, he's 100 pounds plus overweight, right? And he needs to get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, butter, rye, oats. And the nice thing about it is there's no gluten in red wine. Okay, you can still have, if he likes beer, being those kind of athletes, they drink a lot of beer. His beer would have to be Japanese or Chinese beer made from rice as opposed to wheat, butter, and oats. Okay, and then he can have, again, he can have rice, not fried rice, but he can have wild rice, white rice, yellow rice, red rice. He can have baked sweet potatoes with butter. And then to lose weight, I want him to have 2 of his 3 meals a day, a keto caramel meal. And he can have, you know, it doesn't have to be the same meals every day, and it doesn't have to be every day the same product. He can be on Tuesdays and Thursdays, he takes the shake, and Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, he takes the bars, and then on Saturday and Sundays, it's half bars, half shake. I mean, you know, he can turn around any way he wants, doesn't have to be the same meals all the time. And he will lose a half a pound to 2 pounds a day. So truly in 2-3 months, he should be down to where he needs to be. And we want him, of course, to have very healthy joints and connective tissue and cartilage and ligaments and tendons. We want his heart healthy, and wouldn't hurt to throw in the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. He could take 3 of those 3 times a day. That's 3 bottles a month, and it's going to support healthy blood pressure and healthy blood flow through blocked arteries. Did he have diabetes?
He does not say anything about diabetes.
Okay, so let's just go with this. And, you know, anytime he goes in to see a doctor and gets a status report, he should let us know. And so, you know, our listeners and viewers can keep up with what's going on there.
Awesome. All right, next, let's go with James, who's been patiently waiting with his hand up. James, I just sent you a request to unmute yourself. Go ahead and accept that. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Okay, hi, doctor.
Yes, sir. How can we help you?
Every day on TV, I'm barraged by commercials promoting beet juice, which increases your nitric oxide, reduces blood pressure, and increases your energy level. Is beet juice really that effective for people?
Well, you have to appreciate that you still need your 90 essential nutrients. Beet juice doesn't replace all the 90 essential nutrients. You have no idea how many nutrients are in the beet juice. It depends on where they were grown. Okay. We actually have a beet product. Okay. Ultimate beets. Okay. Ultimate cardio beets we call them. Okay. So you might try our beets, but we also, do you have any health issues?
Oh, yeah.
We want to share them with me?
Yeah, I've got sciatica, but you've already answered that for other people.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, for sciatica, you want to, get rid of all the bad foods. You want to, get on 1 healthy brain and heart pack per 100 pounds of body weight. You throw in the MSM, the vitamin D3, the glucogel, and that'll, sciatica goes away very quickly. Within 90 days, and certainly within 2 to 4 weeks, you're going to see a huge improvement if you're doing everything right. Never fails. Okay. But then we have the cardio beets, the longevity, if you want to try beets. And of course, they actually, increase oxygen level. Okay, that's one thing you can consistently depend on. They increase oxygen flow in your blood. Okay, so cardio beets, you might try that in addition to the 2 healthy brain and heart packs and the MSM and all that kind of stuff. Okay.
Good. Thank you.
Oh.
You bet. Okay. Okay, Rebecca, do we have time for 1 or 2 more?
Yes, we do. And I just want to make a note. So for those of you who are trying to frantically take notes, these are recorded and they will be posted on AskDocLive.com. We do appreciate your patience in getting those posted. Jonty, our webmaster, has been evacuated from his home due to fires in the Santa Cruz Mountains. So anyone who has family and friends there, we just want to lift them up and with our thoughts and prayers for safety. So please, check out Ask Doc Live and you will find the recordings of our previous shows there. Next, Dr. Wallach, let's go to Kimfrey, who has her hand up. Kimfrey, you are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Hi,
hello.
Dr. Wallach.
Or Kim Fry, maybe.
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry, there's no space.
Okay. Hi, Dr. Wallach. Nice to
Hi.
talk to you. I'm
Thank
calling
you.
about my son. He's 32, and about 6 years ago, he had his colon removed, and so he hasn't.
Why?
Because he had ulcerative colitis.
That
And
doctor needs to go to jail. If he'd have been put on a gluten-free diet in 90 days, he'd have been cured.
Right. Yeah, we didn't know about that, and nobody would tell us that stuff. But
Well, no, that doctor had 2 sons to put through college, so he needed the money.
okay. So anyway, he recently had a chain of events that crashed his sodium levels, because our understanding is that the colon reabsorbs the sodium and the chloride. And so I don't know, he has never had blood work done in the last 6 years. So, but his sodium levels were so low that he ended up in the hospital for 2 days, and they kept him on fluids to bring up his sodium levels. So what can he do dietary wise?
Okay, here we go.
What recommendations do you have?
How much does he weigh?
He's between 190 and 200, and he's 6'2".
Okay, so he needs to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens. I mean, he and all your other kids, if he's not adopted, all your other kids have the same problem, okay? This is a gluten issue. You have the problem because you didn't pass it on to him genetically, but you passed it on to him through habit of eating and that sort of stuff, you know, what he eats and so forth and how he cooks. And so you and he and any other kids you have, or certainly his brothers and sisters, need to be gluten-free. I mean, drop dead gluten-free. Even the dog, the cat, the bird, the fish in the house need to be gluten-free. And then I'd have him take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month at full dose everything twice a day. I also want him to take our ultimate enzymes. He could take 2 of those before each meal with a couple ounces of water, say 2 to 3 minutes before each meal with a couple ounces of water. I also want him to use our pink Himalayan salt from our Savor division, which is our spice division, Savor. Okay. And so pink Himalayan salt, we also have a pink Himalayan salt with black pepper mixed in with it. I use that breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It has 84 minerals in it, including sodium chloride. Okay. And so these things are all in there where they're supposed to be. And so he has to constantly, and doctors say, now, don't you take any salt because it's bad for your blood pressure. That's nonsense. When they do that, that makes all these people with salt issues have a problem. They can't make stomach acid properly, and so they get a lot of bloating because bacteria will grow in their stomach and create gas and reflux and all that kind of stuff. You need to have your pH in your stomach very low. Okay, there is no such thing as acid reflux. It should be really called lack of acid reflux, because when you have reflux, the bacteria in your stomach are flourishing, growing. Your stomach should be sterile. If you have enough sodium chloride to make stomach acid, your stomach will be sterile. If you don't make enough stomach acid, you have lack of acid reflux because the bacteria are generating gas and fermenting the food in your stomach. And that's, you know, it's all exactly wrong, which is not unusual because that's how doctors make their living. Okay. I actually have a new DVD out, and it's going to be a CD here pretty soon, but it's a DVD right now. It's available. Is your doctor killing you? Question mark. Is your doctor killing you? Question mark. It's really a great DVD. It started out as a Zoom video. We had 7,000 people watch it, okay? And so we said, we better make this a tool here because too many people like it, and goes into these kind of things, okay? And in the hospital, it's a miracle your son survived, okay? Because in the hospital each year, this is a study that was done by Johns Hopkins Medical School that came out just 8 weeks ago. They said that the number 3 cause of death in hospitals in America is medical errors. Each year, now this is Johns Hopkins, not me, published in medical journals and the front page of the newspapers. Each year in America, medical doctors in hospitals, their workplace, kill their patients, AKA customers, at the rate of 250,000 to 440,000 each year. They don't even get a parking ticket. What industry can kill 250,000 to 440,000 of their customers in their workplace, and they don't even get a parking ticket? Only medical doctors. So, and they cut out your son's intestines. Shame on them. Okay, you know what to do now. Give us a call every couple of weeks. So you're on the Zoom, and we will walk you guys through this. Anytime you go in, your son goes in for a visit to the doctor, you know, we need to hear what the status report is. And he may want to talk to his doctor and say, hey, you know, would you be interested in doing a 3-way with you and me and Dr. Wallach on the Zoom? See what the doctor says.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, keep us
Thank you.
informed. You bet.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, Dr. Wallach, one more before we close out today. So Max has a family member that has a bad case of lymphedema, and doesn't know a whole lot about this family member except they're 5 foot 5 inches, female, 250 pounds, ankles are very large, not on a very restricted diet, smokes cigarettes and drinks, but not too much, not at the alcoholic status, has been to many doctors in Seattle with no solutions, and has been like this for at least 6 years. Anything she can do?
Yeah, stop going to doctors. Okay, she needs to get a hold of this DVD. Is your doctor killing you? Question mark. And then she also needs, she's 100 pounds overweight. She needs to get on 2 or 3 meals a day, need to be a keto caramel diet. And what happens is when you get all this inflammation from eating gluten, none of the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no sugar, you eat all these bad foods, you get inflammation in the arteries and the connective tissue in your belly. And so the fluid can't come back out of your feet. Your heart can pump blood down into your feet, but it's very difficult to get through all that blockages in your belly, okay? So it backs up, get all this swelling and edema and everything. But that'll all go away here. She should also take 3 of the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, three times a day, 3 bottles a month, and it'll support healthy blood pressure, healthy blood flow through blocked arteries. And don't forget, 2 or 3 meals need to be a keto caramel meal, and all this will go away. But don't forget, she needs 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. Also needs an MSM, 3 of those twice a day. And that's kind of where I would go with her.
All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Wallach. We are coming up at the top of the hour. We've only got 2 more minutes. Just want to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us today. And thank you everyone who was on this call for being with us as well. AskDocLive.com. Go ahead and send your friends there. Sign up if you're not already signed up to get the reminders of our Zoom conference calls that we're having here today, as we are going to continue them on Fridays, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific time. But meeting room does not always stay the same, so you want to make sure you're getting those invitations every week. Thank you again. If you have any questions or you're wanting to get product, if you are a brand new customer, go ahead and call 855-949-7234. Or if you're an existing Longevity customer, get with your distributor or call our corporate office, 800-982-3189. Dr. Wallach, any closing comments you want to leave us with today?
Yeah, well, just we have to take care of ourselves. And this is, you know, this new DVD, soon to be also a CD, Is Your Doctor Killing You? ? Is the optimal follow-up to Dead Doctors Don't Lie. Dead Doctors Don't Lie. The CD is in 9 languages. We've sold over 600 million copies of that one. Okay. And, you know, I have, I don't know, it's like got to be almost, I think like 18 books now we have, and over 110 CDs, 60 DVDs, and so on. And these are all things, if you do this as a longevity business, these all become a tax-deductible tool for you to learn how to take care of your customers, okay, and train your associates and everything. And so I urge you to get a hold of these tools so everybody's giving the same answer to the same question. Don't try and make up something, especially if you're in the health industry. If you're a doctor, a nurse practitioner, a technician, you don't want to be making up things and trying to figure out what to do. We already know what to do, and you want to get these tools so it'll tell you what to do, so we're all giving the same answer to the same question, and that's how we're going to be victorious, save more people, and of course, unfortunate and awkward to get everybody, because so many people still love their doctors, and From a Christian standpoint, that's one thing, but from a health standpoint, you can add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life if you take care of yourself and take your 90 essential nutrients and avoid the bad foods. Back to you, and thank you so much. And thank also Nasima and Linda. And
yes, one more question. This kind of starts or ends where we started with exactly what vitamins can a pregnant woman take during an early pregnancy?
Well, she can take the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. Don't just say, well, I'm going to take vitamin A. Well, there'll be a problem because you're missing 89 nutrients, okay? So they can take the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, 1 per 100 pounds of body weight. If she weighs 85 pounds or 120 pounds, they just divide it in half. So she's taking a half a dose of everything twice a day. Or if she wants to, she can take a third of a dose 3 times a day, but whatever's more convenient for them. But these embryos need the 90 essential nutrients to form a perfect baby. Otherwise, you're going to wind up with birth defects, which is totally unnecessary. But it's a good thing. You need to be on these 90 essential nutrients and off all the bad foods, both those things, okay? And when you do that, it'll all be good.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. You have a fabulous rest of the day and weekend. We'll see you next week.
Don't forget, drjwallach.com.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And for those of you who are interested in helping with this crusade, and you're a receiver of or a subscriber of the Critical Health newsletter, there is a link there that you can submit your information of request, and go ahead and submit your information and one of us will get back with you. There's a lot of hurting people out there. The need is great, and there's never too many people that are needed to spread a message of encouragement and empowerment. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Nasima. Thank you, Linda. Thank you.
Yes. Everybody, thank you so much. Now, there's been a couple questions saying that you did not get the replay from last week's. Please be patient with us as our web designer is evacuated from his home, and some of those things have been delayed, but that will be posted on the website. So thank you, everyone. Have a fabulous rest of the week, and we'll see you next week.